Hi, it's Will again. So after I made my intro video, I really needed an actual idea for my first proper video. I wanted to make the right first impression and all that. I was struggling for a bit until I recorded a video by Sargon of Akkad, everyone's favourite British right-wing liberal, in quotation marks, YouTuber skeptic guy. I guess that's a bit specific. I don't think anyone has a list of those. So, in this video, I'll be calling Sargon Carl, because that's his actual name. So, I guess, since I'm using my actual name, we'll put us on an even playing field in terms of names on YouTube and all that. So, the video I remembered was about drawing parallels and comparisons between the fall of the Roman Republic and pre-2016 election USA. It was uploaded before Trump got elected, and it's basically Carl's theory of history and cycles. It's about 8 minutes long, so it doesn't cover as much as you'd want it to, which is what I thought when I first watched it, back when it came out. Back then I wasn't nearly as left-wing as I am now. I've moved away from that sort of in-the-middle centrist kind of stuff, but I was still into my history, and I still am, and there are a number of issues I had with it, which I am now more capable of addressing properly, maybe even with sources, which would make a change considering the state of YouTube, I guess. But you might wonder why I'm even trying to go back to a year and a bit old video, but I feel it represents something pretty emblematic in the right-wing YouTube skeptic sphere. So I'll get to that point eventually, Hold on. So Carl starts the video with his general thesis that the USA is directly comparable to late Republican Rome. So this is a pretty big issue I have with right-wing YouTube and reactionaries in general. I've seen time and time again, a lot of his theories, a lot of his videos relating modern-day Western civilization and its downfall, in quotation marks, to that of ancient Rome. And for me, it's wholly inaccurate. It's not hard to grasp that ancient Rome existed well over 2,000 years ago, and retroactively applying our modern day political labels is intellectually dishonest, in my opinion. My reasoning is that, people in Rome are different to people now. That should seem pretty simple, right? But I feel that Western society has evolved so far away from Roman culture that they are almost completely divorced from one another in a myriad of ways, in my eyes. So, politics reflects the culture of the people. So from that you can see how different politics would be in ancient culture, and how you really can't compare them to modern day politics. It's just too much of a reach, I know. I mean, I can understand teachers applying labels like populist or conservative to Roman politics for aid of generalisation and to help learning, but to take it seriously and anything beyond that is dishonest and frankly just wrong. Carl spends a lot of the video comparing the histories of Rome and the US until he reaches his main point.
The United States were both founded in a similar way. The founding populations of each of these states were a mixture of different types of people, all with one thing in common. They had been somehow outcast or dispossessed from their home countries. They spent several generations under the yoke of foreign kings before initiating a war of independence, which they win. Both established a republic with a deep ingrained hatred of monarchy, and it was not lost at all on the founding fathers of the United States that they were directly imitating the founding fathers of the Roman Republic. The new republic establishes its power by conquering and colonizing its neighbours. Where the Romans conquered and colonized the native peoples of Italy, like the Etruscans and the Samnites, the Americans did so with the various Native American tribes. They then both become embroiled in wars they can't finish, and they both have their capitals sacked. But both go on to recover and change direction to fulfill their manifest destinies of expanding to the limits of what geography will permit. Then both republics become embroiled in a series of foreign wars. These foreign wars greatly expand the power and the wealth of the republic, and by the end of them, it's the only power left standing. It's not the only power in existence, but it has become the world hegemon, and yes, for the Romans, the world was the Mediterranean. The massive influx of wealth caused by the rapid rise of the Republic was not fairly distributed across the population, creating remarkable poverty in addition to remarkable wealth. This exacerbated class conflict, and both the American and Roman republics were forced to give state welfare, which, for the Romans, came in the form of a grain dole to the poorest families. The political landscape became split between two parties. In Rome, this was between the optimates, meaning the best, and the populares, meaning the demagogues. The abundance of poor creates a political vacuum for a populist as a people's representative with a package of economic reforms. This person is inevitably killed by the very interests he is threatening. In Rome, this was Tiberius Gracchus. In the United States, this was JFK. However, the figurehead is the symptom and not the cause of the problem, and new figureheads arise, in the form of Gaius Gracchus in Rome and Donald J. Trump in the United States. Welcome to the stage for your civil war, America. I wonder who your Marius and Sulla will be.
So, from that, you can pretty much see his entire argument. So, I've got a lot of issues with that, really. More than you can shake a stick at, honestly. So, I don't know if Carl studied the science at school, but I did biology at A-level before heading to university. You know, bear with, there is a point to this. So in biology, I learned a bit about data and how you read data. And the first thing that my teacher told us was, correlation does not mean causation. Not always. And thanks for that, Miss Mohammed. You know, I got a C, by the way. So in this video, Carl assumes that because the two histories align in the narrow points that he himself lays out, it must obviously mean that what happened to Rome will happen to the US. So I don't know if Carl can see the future or anything, but if he could, he should make better video choices than this. I mean, he can't really complain, actually. You know, he gets paid more annually off his Patreon than all of my university lecturers who are actual academics. It's all just a bit depressing, honestly. Another big issue I had was Carl's bigging up of Donald Trump and how he is the saviour of all the United States woes. Yeah, I see that's aged well. He bigs up Trump by comparing him to Gaius Gracchus, a popularis politician of the 1st century BC. And this was a pretty big error on Carl's part. Carl says that Trump and Gracchus are the same in that they are both populists. He's right in that regard, but wrong everywhere else. Gaius Gracchus was something of a radical in Republican Rome. You could almost call him a leftist if you were making the mistake of applying normal modern day politics to the ancient world. But who'd do that? Gracchus's attempted reforms got him murdered by opposing senators and was a real watershed moment of cutthroat Roman politics. It showed that no one was safe, really. And so I presume Carl pinpoints the fall of the Republic to this moment, since he doesn't really go that much into it apart from making the comparison between them. But this comparison is pretty weak. A large part that led to Gracchus's death was due to him pushing for a law that gave Italians and other allies Roman citizenship. Appian, a Roman historian from the time of Trajan, wrote about it in detail, and I'll link that in the description if you want to read about it. I like Appian, decent historian, but you have to take into account that he's writing, you know, a few hundred years, after the event, so, you know, he might not be fully trustworthy. But in essence, Gracchus was going to give a load of non-Roman citizens citizenship, and if you're trying to compare him to Trump, well, I didn't really see Trump go for that during his election campaign, to be honest. Something about a wall, I think he said, you know, I can't remember that well, to be honest. So, on the back of that point, I wanted to give another reason why I chose this video to analyse. Like I said, it was made before Trump was elected, and that's a pretty important part. You know, since Carl more or less called Trump the hope of Western liberal democracy, he must have done some pretty good stuff in regards to that, right? I mean, well, it's been a year into his presidency, and I don't really see where Trump has put into place any of his promises that he laid out. I mean, perhaps being more hawkish on foreign policy, but that's a stretch, to be honest. You know, he's not even built the wall yet. You know, maybe, just maybe, Trump was just another capitalist riding the coattails of the rise of populism in 2016. After all, Carl does say in the video that wealth centred in the hands of a few led to Rome's downfall. Well, wasn't Trump the wealthiest president-elect to date? How many billions does he have stashed away in his money pockets? This video didn't really age well, did it, Carl? My main point at using Carl's video is that I see a lot of YouTubers using this method of saying, you know, because this happened, this will also happen, and not really supporting it at all. No real evidence or anything. To be fair to Carl, he does put a few videos and podcasts in his description, but none specifically back up the argument he's making, which is what you're meant to do with sources. Carl just points to his comparisons and descriptions of ancient Rome and goes, see? And, well, that really isn't good enough for me, and it shouldn't be for you watching it. You know, that video has about 400k views as well, like, fucking hell. The comments even reference Stefan Molyneux's video on the fall of Rome, like, for fuck's sake. By the way, Sean did a really good video about that, like, way more in depth than this one, and so, if you're looking for stuff about that, or if you're into Roman history, definitely check out the video. I'll link it in the description. So, you've made it to the end of the video. Well done. This is the first genuine video I've made, and you might say going for Sargon of Akkad, or Carl, as his parents call him. It might be a mistake, but honestly, I'm not going for him personally, you know. I don't think he's a good person, but I'm not attacking his character, I don't feel. I mean, if I am, please feel free to correct me in the comments or anything, but I don't think I'm doing that personally. I will also put his video in the description if you want to watch him, and make sure I'm not trying to misrepresent him, which, you know, he does a lot. sorry, that was kind of an attack, but yeah, again, thanks for watching. I'm just really starting the YouTube thing, so I'm not that professional. You know, if you liked the video, please like and say why. If you didn't like it, press dislike and tell me why. Just don't, you know, don't dox me or anything. It'll be a bit mean if you did that. I'm just, you know, starting out, and I will gain more experience, I guess, and the videos will just be better as I learn how to edit better and have better quality stuff. And really, this is just a hobby for me, honestly, and I just want to, you know, make interesting and informative videos, I guess. I don't think I'll be going always in on these alt-right YouTubers, but, you know, I can see the appeal in that, and I do like watching a video of someone attacking, or, you know, talking about an alt-right YouTuber. You know, I enjoy watching those videos, but I don't think that will be my main thing. You know, I'll find a niche somewhere. You know, that niche of leftist politics and Roman history. You know, it's got to be filled by someone, and it's probably gonna be me, because no one else cares about those two things like I do, I don't think. So, thanks for watching yet again. I've said for the third time. If you like the video, like and subscribe. I've been Will Reynolds. Bye.